Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 25 here in the EMC to the Sky playthrough. We are pretty close to the end in this pack, believe it or not. And first thing I'm going to do is just look through to see what we all still need to do. There are some optional mods here that I'm going to work through quickly just to finish them mostly. And then there's some here that are highlighted. I'm going to show you this section. These are just mods that are not part of the quest lines, but have are ones that are in the pack that are really helpful. So if you're playing through with this pack or you're playing with this pack for a longer period, these are ones that are nice to look into. We've done many of them, like botany pots, and we've used construction wands. We actually just recently got our wand up to the infinite level using another star. And so like there's a lot of them in here. I didn't use everything, and some of them are ones that are more decorative, things like that. But this is a section where you can look through to see things that aren't part of the main quest line, but are in the pack and are worth checking out if you want to play through the pack. So I'm going to go through, we'll check these off. The other things I want to do, I want to quickly make the magnets, just so that we have them. So if we look at simple magnets, there's only a few things we need in here. So we're going to craft our magnet, which is an EMCable item. We're going to craft the advanced magnet, which is not EMCable, but it's made with that one. So now we have one of these. And so what the magnet does is when you put it in your charm slot, if something gets dropped nearby, actually I don't know if it'll work when I'm throwing it out, but if items get dropped, then you can magnet them in, and basically your reach is extended. Do I have that in the right slot? Curio. Yeah, I think it is. Wonder if I need to activate it. Items. Ooh, it has a lot of different things that we can do with it. But that is what it's for. The other thing that comes from this mod pack is that we can make a magnetization coil, which is EMCable. And then also there is an advanced magnet. Advanced demagnetization coil is made from that. And basically those are used for preventing items from being picked up. This one does 3, this one does up to 5, and we can set up filters in it. So if we're doing something where, like, for example, with our Botania farm, we had items that get dropped from droppers to work in that farm, we could set up one of these coils nearby and filter it so that those items don't get picked back up by our magnet when we're standing there, because that would break some of the things. And so that's the total thing that was in the magnet section here. The compact machines I'm actually going to do right now. Compact machines is normally a really complicated mod because you have to set up areas to create a room and then shrink it down and do that to make the different machines. But in this mod pack, there is EMC used to make it a lot easier. So when we make our compact machine walls, they're EMCable, so we can just get an infinite amount. And that goes for our compact machines themselves too. So when we craft each of these, once we've made it once, we don't have to make it again. And it's a simple process of just crafting it. Now the exception to that is when we get to the top tier. Get this last one done. And this last tier here is one that is not EMCable. It is crafted using a nether star. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to set up a crafting recipe for it. We'll put that in our crafter here. And that means that when we go in, we can craft one of these, and that way we can make more if we need them. What these do is, using the personal shrinking device, you set down this room, you go inside of it using this, and now you have a 13 by 13 room that's in a void dimension that is separate from the main world. What we're specifically going to use this for right now, we take a moment and head back over to our pyramid. The reason I'm not over there right now, I dropped my pick, is because it has been causing some issues with our frames. And that's because we built up our dragon seed farm that is making EMC for us, and the animations for it are just really intense. So I'm going to take off this flux point so that all the farms stop, so we can actually function over here. I'm going to take this whole thing. I'm going to build it inside a compact machine. That way it can run, but it can't cause so many frame issues for us. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. I just want to do it so that I can show you how it works in the compact machine. So in your own playthrough, if you want to do that to generate EMC, you can. But we're very quickly going to be moving past the point where we're using dragon eggs for EMC. And so I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, but I do want to get it done just to show you. So I'm going to come back once I have it all set up inside our system here. So I've run out of universal cables and I need to set up automated steel production to make more. So I'm going to call it for here for now. I have 3 rows of crafters that wrap the whole way around, and I have 300 power pot plants of dragon seeds in here. They're currently turned off because when I turn it on, the lag in here is pretty intense. So I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to get out of here. And you can see we have plenty of EMC flowing in, but we are not quite keeping up with production on dragon eggs. So we're gaining dragon egg essence, but it's fine. As I said earlier, this farm, I'm only doing it so that in case people want to do something similar in their playthroughs, they can. This is good for early game, but I've reached the point where this is going to be pretty meaningless very soon, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. I did leave this farm set up with the watch of flowing time going so that I can add more power pots if I need to have certain things growing for us to use. There's a couple that will be coming up where I'm going to need to have some essences growing just to craft some things. But the next thing we're going to work on is, now that we have compact machines done, this one, like I said, there's a lot in here to look at, but we're not going to go through those. The next thing to work on is create. And create is a big mod, and I've been thinking about what I want to do with it. I'm not going to do a lot of building with create, and it's not because I don't like create. I really enjoy it. But in this pack, create is pretty much the idea is that you make an item and then it's EMCable, and then you can just keep making them, which is fine, and that'll be a lot of fun if you know create really well and you want to be able to avoid having to craft all the things. I want to do create in a playthrough where I'm playing just with create, so I can go through and learn create really well. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to craft all the things just to get these quests done, but I'm not going to do a big thing on it. We're just going to go through, get them all done, get them made, and while we're doing that, we can move on to finish out this chapter. We still need to get to the final EMC link. I'm going to skip over that for a minute, and we're going to work on the final part of encapsulating. So all we need to do for this is get a phantom membrane, and I think that I actually have one. Yeah, so I'm just going to actually just take it and put it in for the credit for the quest. The way you're supposed to make it involves getting biocapsules and combining it with feather. I have all that, but I just don't feel the need to do it. For the dragon heads, it's a little different. We need to get a blank skull, and a blank skull is something that we can create because we have EMC. So the blank skull uses soul dust and bone. We have that. So now let's go for the dragon head. We obviously have plenty of dragon essence, so we can craft as many dragon heads as we need now. And that finishes out the encapsulating chapter. Let's go check our chapter rewards for that. That gives us a chaos shard and one of each of the catalysts. Now the reason that that's important is this chaos shard is EMCable. So when we look at the chaos shards, we now have 61.9 thousand of them. I think that that is kind of broken because we're supposed to work our way through bees or fight the chaos dragon to get to that point. But I'm okay with just doing that, and we're going to finish off on that. What that means is we're going to be able to do this crafting much sooner. So the tier 9001 resource generator will generate a stack of items every second and will not consume the original item used. So it's almost there. The 9001 is the main goal of the pack, but now that you have it, there are a number of challenge items to craft to 100%. So crafting this is the end of the pack. To get it, what we need is to use all of these things. And we now have all of them. So I'm going to head over to our base. I'm going to collect them all together, and we're going to craft the tier 9001 generator. And that will show you why the dragon egg farm that I was working on is not going to be necessary once I have that crafted. So just give me a minute to collect everything together, and I will show you how this works. All right, assuming that I've done this correctly, we have the tier 9001 resource generator set up for auto crafting. So I have a crafter that's pointing into an elite crafting table with an importer that's bringing it back in. So let's craft one of these and see if this works the way we expect it to. It should be making the things that we need. Where's our crafting monitor? So it looks like it's processing items here. Oh, there it goes. It was using those to make the catalysts that we need. I'm not sure. The only thing I'm not sure about is if it's going to be able to process using this elite crafting table. I've never done crafting using the elite crafting table before, so I'm not sure if that's going to be able to work with the auto crafting or not. So we're just waiting to see how well that works. Let's check it out again. So it says this is no machine found for the tier 9001 resource generator. This is pointing in. I'm wondering if this can't put the items through, because it looks like this has everything it needs. We have this stored. Everything is stored, but it can't go in. So I'm going to try, just to test it, we're going to take this machine and we're going to move it. And I'm going to have this go this way. We'll put the elite crafting table here. We'll add this back in. Let's, oh, it did clear because we took that recipe off. And let's put this on the side over here. Because I'm wondering if it needs to be side oriented for it to insert items. I know you can insert items through the side using hoppers, so this might work. So let's try this again. We're going to do a tier 9001. And let's check out our monitor. And we're still having the same problem. Okay, so let's do it this way. We're going to grab our catalyst. Actually, I think I need to cancel this first, because otherwise the stuff will not be in our inventory here. So we need the large catalyst. So tier 3 large, tier 2 large, tier 1 large. We're also going to need these catalysts. We're going to need the generators. So let's grab this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. We're going to need chaos shard. Let's see what else we need for the tier 9001. So we have the chaos shard, we have the generators. I need a cyan EMC link. Now when we do the tier 9001, all we need to do is do that, and we got it. That means we have finished this chapter for infinite items. Let's check out our chapter rewards. Is that one of them? No, it's just the compact machines we have finished. So we'll take that and get our reward there. So we have Project E and Resourceful Bees left, and that's all of the chapters. And the create is ones that I'm going to finish off camera and just create all of those. And now we are into the end game, where all we need to do is create all the challenge items to 100%. Let me show you how this tier 9001 resource generator works. And to do it effectively, I'm going to grab an EMC link, and we're going to just grab, it doesn't matter. I want to take one of the highest ones we have, because it's soon going to not matter at all. So I'm going to do it over here. Let's put it like this. We're going to put the generator here. And then I want to grab some piping. So we're going to want item pipe, ultimate pipe upgrade, and wrench. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And we're going to put this in. So now the way this thing works is anything you put in here that can be EMC'd or can't be AMC'd, it doesn't matter. Any item you put in there will just get created a stack at a time and put in here. This will then send it over, and if it has EMC, it will go in. So to use this as an EMC generator, all we have to do is pick something with EMC. It'll create a stack at a time, and it will make it. So Ender pearls obviously are not the best option for that because of the fact that they don't have that much EMC. So let's put all this back in. If we want to go with our highest EMC item right now, that is a Colossal Starred Ray. It is worth 4.39 trillion EMC. We put that in here. You can see we are now producing EMC. It's in the QA, which is like quadrillion times 1,000 or something like that. It's ridiculous. We now have just a huge level of EMC. So let's look at this. We're looking to finish out our stars. So if we take the Colossal Star here and we craft it into the Veer, and then we take the Veer and we put it in, we get to our Colossal Star Sphere. We take those and we combine them. We now get to our Colossal Star Omega. And our Colossal Star Omega is worth 281.47 trillion EMC. So when we go over here, if we swap this out, we're now creating a stack of these every second and putting them into our EMC. So now, obviously, EMC has become meaningless. We can generate as much EMC as we need and in almost no time. As far as that goes, the stars, the next phase of that is being able to make the final star shards, which we are now, I'm going to actually set up a recipe for creating these because we're going to be using these a lot. And there we go. We have that recipe. We can put it into our netherite crafter. And now if I want to create the final star shards, I can, oops, actually, I don't want to do that. I want to actually select them here. Let's create a stack of them because why not? You can see we are able to make these final star shards, which are a combination of a quadrillion EMC for each one. We can make them without even thinking about it. Pretty ridiculous, pretty crazy. So now what we need to do is start looking into the end game stuff. So we have our creative items we need to craft, all of them using the final stars and the final star shards, as well as items from create that are not EMCable. So we're going to have to set up ways to make those. And then that's the same for each kind of thing here. Basically, you make a lot of items that are related to that particular thing. And then once you have it, you have a creative source for it. So it's kind of, this takes us way beyond the end game. We are basically creating creative in our world. So we're going to go through and do some of these together. Some of them are going to require us to set up a little bit of farms to make it so we can get to the point where we make these things, because we need a lot. For these, a lot of it is EMCable, and it's just a matter of collecting enough of the stars. But for other things, like I said, for like the creative generator, we need to craft a bunch of mechanical crafters. We need to create blaze burners. We need to create electric motors. We don't have any recipes for those yet, and they're not EMCable, so we're going to have to set up a way to craft those. And so it's going to be a lot of crafting to get to the point where we can just make these items, and then once we do, and we do it once, we're done, and we will have an infinite generator that will generate power for us. So I'm going to work on getting this this section finished, but before we get to that, let's do this final part of our Project E section, which is to do our EMC link. To make our final EMC link, we need 2 of those final star shards, which we have made. And now we can put that in. We finished the chapter on Project E. Let's take our reward for that, which is another one of these generators, which is helpful because they are not EMCable. We have to make them every time we want. So I'm going to work on some stuff off camera. I'll come back once I have everything sorted out and a plan of what we're going to do to finish out this episode, and then we will get to it. The first section of our create is finished. The main reason I'm not going to go through crafting all these is because with the EMC that we have, it's a matter of just crafting the item in our crafting grid and then putting it in for EMC. When I do the create playthrough, which I do plan to do down the road, I want to be able to set up farms that create these things so that we can, use them and use create to play create. There's nothing wrong with using EMC to do it. If you played create before, or if you haven't and you just want to play with EMC where you don't have to go through all the steps, that's fine. But since I haven't done a create playthrough, I'd rather do that in that. So for now, we're just making everything. Some of the notable things that I did is we needed zinc. So I set up these, one of each of the resource generators to make the capsules. Because, for example, the only way that I can make zinc is to actually use the crafting recipe for it. So the crafting recipe for zinc nuggets is to use the medium resource capsules. So now I have a stockpile of those capsules getting stored in our system. So if I need zinc, I can craft it on demand. So I did that with a bunch of the different things like that. I figured since I'm doing the one, I'll do them all. So these are all the overworld resource generators. They're not going fast or anything. They each have just one catalyst in. There's nothing to speed them up. I could speed them up if I wanted to, but they're going to slowly trickle into the system. We have infinite storage, so we'll have plenty. So then I use that zinc to make brass and things like that. So there's a few things in here that you can't just EMC. You actually have to craft them, but I just made the ones that I need. I got the blaze burner set up, but we're not actually going to do any of that stuff in large degree. So I'm just kind of skipping over it to finish it out. So now we just have the copper and the brass age to finish, and that will mean that we have everything done all the way through chapter 2. And chapter 3, the only thing not done is resourceful bees. And then we have the end game that we're working on. So I'm going to go ahead and get these finished in chapter 2 so that we can officially say chapter 2 is done. And then the only thing left that we have to do is going to be resourceful bees and our end game 100% stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to do the bees or not yet. Still thinking about it. We might do some of that just to show off how it works. I don't think we're going to go through all the steps to do it, but we might do a little bit just to give an idea for people that are playing in case they want to do the bees. So let me finish out the create, and then we will look at it one more time. And I think we're probably just going to have one last episode because a lot of these recipes in the 100% category are just large crafting recipes where we have to do collect a lot of items and then craft them, and then we're done. I don't think that's going to make super compelling episodes. So we will see. But let me get this finished, and then we will wrap up for today. I have finished out almost everything from create. We need a few last things here that required some rotational force. So I put in little tiny water wheels next to our giant immersive water wheels. They're connected to the shaft, which is rotating. We need a cog wheel. Not sure which one I'm going to need here. Let's grab them both. I'm going to just go through and finish this last step, and then we'll go through and I'll show you what we have gotten done. That needs to be there. So we put this here. Now this is rotating. We put this in. We should be able to finish our mechanical crafter to make our wheels. What we're trying to make here is our crushing wheels. So this is a mechanism from create where you can physically craft things in the world using these mechanical crafters. Once they get combined, they create the item, and that shows up right here. We could put a chest there to grab it, but we're just going to take the item out. There we go. That means we have finished the brass chapter. To finish the copper chapter, we actually have to crush some copper ore. Let's see, if I put this one here, then can I place? I'm gonna make it difficult, but let's do stone here. Just grass away. I think that what I need, I think if I just do it this way, it's not gonna work because I think that's gonna be both the wheels moving in the same direction. Oh, actually, it just overstressed our system. Let's remove this, see if that works. Yeah, see, they're moving in the same direction. So I think what I need to do... let me think about this. I put in a gearbox. then this can change the rotation here. I'll put one in there. Put in a shaft. Okay, so now they're going the wrong direction from what I want. So I think if I swap this in and put in a gearbox, that'll change it. And now we should have a crushing wheel. Let's grab some copper and just throw it on top. See if it does the thing. Because what we need to finish the copper age is to just do some crushed copper ore. Need a block? Is that what this is going on? Maybe that's why I'm not getting what I want. Let's do a block of copper. We have plenty, so that's not a problem. And there we go. That gives us our copper ore, that crushed copper ore that finishes out the copper age. So a couple things I want to note. Again, I'm not going to go too far into create because I want to do a create playthrough. And this is kind of like making create with cheat mode turned on because you can just create things. So the main thing I did is I set up a way to make the tier 9001s. I couldn't figure out how to get the elite auto crafting table to work. So what I did is I made it so when I start one of these, the craft sends everything I need into this chest. So let's put all this stuff away. Once we have it done, we have to check the crafting monitor. It's making a bunch of stuff, but basically it fills this chest with everything we need. We can go here and then shift click the recipe in, and then it imports back in. And so we're kind of the middleman because I couldn't figure out how to get this to accept the items that I wanted in a way that it would work. I know there's a way to do it. It doesn't matter. I don't need a ton of these. The tier 9001 generators, what they do is they make it so that an item that you have that is not EMCable, you can still craft infinite amounts of. So like for example, in Create, there was the mechanical crafters. They're pretty difficult to craft. Or not really, but there's a lot of steps. And I needed 21 of them, and I had 3. So what I did is I just took one and put it in here, and then once a second, it makes a stack. And so basically, any item in the game, even whether it has EMC or not, once you've made it once and it's in your system, you can repeat it. So like these mechanical arms, which take lots of steps, now I have a couple stacks of them. No problem. That's what the power of that generator does. And so the last thing we have to do in the pack, which we'll do in the next episode, is to go through and craft all of these different items. And I might do a little section on the resourceful bees, like I said, just to show how it works, because I think that some people might actually want to go through to do the resourceful bees line. It is a way to get to the chaos shard. The way we got to the chaos shard was kind of cheaty. It was as a quest reward, and I think that's kind of broken. But for me, just showing off the pack, I think that saved me many, many episodes of work, so I'm okay with that. But for now, we have gotten all the things from Create done. I'm going to take these and put them away. I had to do a little bit of crafting with it just to get some of the original items. And then once I had them, I had infinite amounts, because either they're EMCable or I just throw them into one of these and we could do it. And if you wanted to make it so that you have these automated, you just put the item in, put the importer on, you let it run, and it'll keep doing it. So we may need to do that when we need stacks and stacks of items in the future. So that will be interesting to see. For now, I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. Next one will be their finale, and then we will start doing something new. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.